What's next for today? This. Look at this. Should I sell my farm? Should I sell Teca Farms? For those of you who don't know, I have a 400-acre property in central New Jersey. I've had this property now for 2.5, maybe going 3 years, going on 3 years. It's been the longest 2.5 years of my life. If it's been rife with pain and pleasure, joy and pain. So what's going on? Hold on 1 second. Somebody's texting me. I guess they're watching. But the reality is I don't know that I want to keep the farm anymore. And what I want to do is look at my life after the farm. I've always thought I was going to keep the farm for a long time, but here's some of the activities I've been doing on this farm. This is
Got that on video. Nah, no. This is definitely.
This is me raking in some compost, making some rows, and really working out how to work the dirt, learning a lot about no-till practices. Let's go to the next one. I think. Yeah, so this is me getting some of the dirt ready to make some rows, and clearing some dirt. Now we are technically tilling this, right, to prepare it for the first time, but after I did all that, let's see, it worked out. It looked nice for now, right? Like I was proud of that. It took me a little bit longer than I probably wanted, but I've enjoyed this part of farming. I've enjoyed it, guys. This is what I had in mind. Go out there, boom. I couldn't really grow anything to save my life. What I didn't enjoy is what comes next. What I didn't enjoy, let me share my screen here, is some of these projects, infrastructure projects. This is a dirt project that I've been working on, or a road project. These are just some, let's see if I play this video here. This is, if it plays for you guys. Sometimes it just decides, no, I'm not gonna decide to play for it. This is me separating rocks and dirt, and let's see here. Yeah. All of this. It's been a headache of a project. I've had machines, like, I mean, I can't tell you how many machines I've had out there. I've had people, like, everything's broken down. I've had fines. I had to pay engineers. It's just the city, the state, all of this has been a headache for me. Scientists, this guy with this nonsense, and doing dirt tests, and all of sampling, making sure that we're compliant. It's working in New Jersey has been so rigorous. So what a joy or hardship when I got this message here. When I got this message that my property has gone up an estimated $950,000. Let me zoom in for y'all. My property has gone up an estimated $951,000 since I bought it back in 2023. $951,000, and I've paid some of it off, and I've certainly improved it. There's a lot of improvements that we've made. So that's almost $1 million that presumably I can get, and that's on the 1.4 million if I sell it at that. Redfin at least is telling me I can get it at 1.4 or I can sell it between 1.4 and 1.7. Should I sell my farm and make an extra $1 million? I want to let you guys tell me. If it was you, would you sell this farm? If you're looking at possibly making $1 million profit, after a couple years of a project, would you sell the farm? Now, here's where I'm looking at it, how I'm looking at it. On one hand, I enjoy the thought of farming. On one hand, I enjoy the romanticism of growing your own food, of knowing what you're eating, of owning land and ownership. I've been such a steward of ownership, and really driving the message that we need to own more stuff, and we need to be able to control our own narrative. So if I've been really pushing that, now I'm getting a financial incentive to go and say, well, you know what? Matter of fact, maybe I don't need to own. Just give me an extra million, 1.4 million, and I'll shut up. Is my price 1.4 million, guys? Certainly 1.7 will be crazy. I don't know. Because there's been such a headache. People have been so against me there in a lot of ways, with regulations, with everything. What's the point of keeping going? But, and then on the other side, when I look at some of my neighbors, when I look at some people who've been in farming for a long time, I sometimes say, dang, it's crazy how they have generations into it. They're telling me that their grandfather started, and then their dad did it, and then their blah, blah, blah. What if their grandfather had sold? If I wanted that for me, if I would have wished that maybe in our communities, our grandfathers had the opportunity to hold on to some of this property. If our grandfather, well, aren't I that generation? Am I not the change that I want to see in this world? That I have to forego the 1.4 million today so that the next generation has an opportunity to build on it and accumulate more wealth? Or should I just take my money? I want to know. Should I just take my money? I guess the real question is, what's the purpose of the farm? Monetary gain or something else? The equity in the property will increase undoubtedly. The purpose of the farm is still undetermined. I don't know. I bought it as a real estate play. Thank you, Mr. Fireball 619. Thank you. It's about the integrated system. It's about the ethics and integrity regarding food and all the things that land can offer. You've got space which can lead to places where people can come. Next. Okay, that's it. But yes, I absolutely agree. So here's why I wouldn't sell it. Because I bought the dream. I bought the vision. And I've spent a bunch of money into it already. But let me give you what the first thing. Share my screen. I bought the vision of this guy here, JM Fortier, out of Canada. He has a small farm, but they do no-till, just amazing content. I watch all his stuff. The Market Gardener, shout out to them. They really know their stuff. And they're in Canada. It's cold. And he's talking about making $300,000 on just 2 acres. And he shows how to do it. So I'm thinking to myself, of course, I have 400. Of course I can make 300 grand with that. I haven't made 10% of that. I'll tell you that. It's a lot harder than it looks. And part of that is when I try to start one thing, there's always something breaking. I wish I could show you how my tractors look right now. And there's always a machine breaking. There's always an animal dying. There's always a city complaining. There's always something. I can't even focus in on the things that need to be done. But when I started, before I bought the farm, remember I had my goats and all that. Before I bought it, I watched these videos and I'm thinking to myself, this guy's showing how he can make 200, 300,000. Even if I make 100,000 on the property, at least it can pay for itself. Maybe I only need to make a little bit more. Actually, realistically, I need to make, for that thing to pay for itself, I probably need to make about 150,000 a year. So if I can make 300,000, then it pays for itself, and I get now it becomes profitable. But and then I'm thinking, okay, maybe I won't make just 300,000 on the small plot, right? You saw me towing that. When I started, that's because I watched this video. I wish I had some videos of how it ended up, because it no bueno. I'll tell you that. No bueno. But okay. So I watched this, and then I watched Cody Sanchez. Let me see here. This video of Cody Sanchez on how she's making. Let me see if I play some of the math here, where she's talking about making about $19,000 or something, or investing $19,000, and she's gonna be buying tents. She's gonna be buying tents to put on her. This is her revenue model here. She's gonna buy tents to put on her vacant land, and people are gonna rent out the vacant land, right? Like charging $150 per night, 50% occupancy. So on 30 days, right? She's already showing what she's going to be gaining. Monthly revenue, $4,500 per month. I'm thinking, okay, $4,500 per month. I can do this. And guess what I did? I went out and I bought the tents. I started charging. I started doing all of that. I'm like, Cody, you got me. I believe the dream. She's making roughly annual income with 2 tents, $54,000 a year. And I'm thinking to myself, well, for now, if I do the market garden stuff that my other guys showed me, I do this, I'm ringing in the money. So what did I do? I went and look, I let's see if you guys could see this. This isn't a great picture, but I got the tents. I got the events going. I got, let's see if I can zoom out. I got the events. I'm charging 150 something a night. Kids are coming out. Families are coming. Look at that. Nice setup. It's happening, guys. I'm following the Cody Sanchez principle. But it definitely, what she did not talk about was snow. She did not talk about how cold it gets in those tents. She did not talk, because I ended up having to buy. She didn't talk about how bathroom would become an issue. And for those who, let me see if I have a good video of this tent. Let's see here. We've sensed these videos aren't necessarily great, but we've added more stuff, made it more cozy, blah blah blah. We put a furnace and a heater in there, but those were my revenue models. Okay, so just if you're staying with me, my first revenue model is the crops and livestock. All right, on 2 acres, 3 acres. If you've been to the farm, you know that the open field is where we were cropping and livestock. And if you've been to the farm, you see that the goats, the sheep, the ducks, the pigs, the whatever, they're there. So I'm thinking to myself, eventually I'm going to make some money off of this. You see the fire pit area where the tents were. The snow destroyed them. So you see that it's there. You've also seen how difficult that road is. I couldn't spend too much time and effort on that project, because guess what? I needed to spend more time and effort on the other stuff too, getting revenue. So now, right, we got the crops and livestock almost set up, but it's not really going great. We got the tents up, but the weather, people only want to stay for the spring and summer, possibly fall. And what do you do with the rest of the year? Winter is a tough month on the farm. I would have shut it down, but guess what? I have animals. I have needs that I need to be met. So I need it there. But those expenses, the mortgage always continues. You always have expenses. I just paid my property tax bill. It always needs, you need to feed the geese. No pun intended. So now I'm looking at a farm that I've been building up. People have been coming out. They've been enjoying it. If you've been to the farm, let me know. If you've liked it, if you see the vision, let me know. People come out there and they tell me, Dom, I see the vision. People bow and arrow. If you're part of my insurance company, there is nobody that bow and arrows out there. Nobody. But if you're not part of my insurance company, how fun was that bow and arrow? How fun are the ATVs? But now I got some random person telling me that they got 1.7 million. Maybe they're like, this guy's making too much noise. He is trying to liberate too many people. He is trying to unify too many people. How do we shut somebody up like that? Well, we tried to put Nelson Mandela in jail. That didn't work. So what are we going to do with him? Pay him. That might work. It might. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I do have a plan on how to take the money out. Oh, and then the last thing. So what do we have? We have, if you know the farm, if you know the game plan, and I'm going to be breaking this down in particular for you guys in the circle community. I'm going to break down how I plan to make money in March, start in March, because February just sucked. February was awful. January, awful. Trash, basura, no bueno, bad hombres. Running a farm in winter, it's like the worst financial decision you can make in life. It's like buying a boat and then deciding to drill a hole on the side of it. That's how efficient running a farm in winter is. So, but we did get to the gazebo. My guy, Mr. Fireball 619, helping me out with that. Gazebo is going to be on deck. And why did we get the gazebo? For events and weddings and just the events that are going to be happening. Because, okay, so you guys, I listened to the small farms guy. I listened to Cody Sanchez and doing the tents and making all that. And then I went here. Let's share my screen. June Farms. I went here, June Farms. Look, they're on 100 acres, but they started small. They've grown. They got a Netflix series now, so they got all these little cabins and stuff. And if you've been to the farm, you know what we have and what we don't, right? But we can have a little something here. But what do they have here? Their weddings. I'm not even gonna go to the parties and activities, right? Like they're just on a different level. But we have a tent, or we had a tent. Our tent. No bueno anymore. The wind beat us. But weddings, if you go to weddings on June Farms, and then you go to pricing, let's look at what my calculus was, where I was like, let's see if I should keep this. Well, let's just do proposals. If you just want to propose at the farm, $650 plus tax and gratuity. Okay. So what do you get? Optional surprise party following proposal in the coupe bar for $100 a person. Jesus Christ. But if you want to propose, you're looking at $650. Professional photographer to capture moments, guided farm tour, whatever. We can do this, guys. If you don't think we can do this at Teca Farms, then you don't know me and my ambition. But that's $650. That's not a bad for a Saturday. How many proposals you think I can knock out? We got 400 acres. On a Saturday, on nice weather, we can probably do 3 or 4 proposals at one time. Different areas of the farm. Different times. Cool. But let's go into, that's just the proposal. Let's go into their smallest wedding package. What's their smallest wedding package, which is the brunch package? Let's go. Look what I was looking at. Their brunch package, $125 a person, plus 8% tax, whatever. That's called that. That's just, I'm never going to count that because that goes to the state. But $125 a person, plus 20% freaking gratuity and 15% coordinator fee. So call that an extra 35%. And it's up to 75 guests, right? So, and kudos to June Farms. I love how they do their stuff. If you can afford it, good for you. And I want to get to their level to some degree and offer this to people. But 75 people at just $125 per person, that's $9,300. Plus the 0.20%. Oh, shoot. Not 93. I'm just going to do a flat 9,300 times 0.2 plus 9,300. Ooh, 9,300. Sorry, plus what was it, like 1,100? You're looking at 10,000 plus another 15. So you're looking at June Farms for their smallest wedding package, close to 13,000. And what do you get? from 11 to 4 p.m. From 11 to 4 p.m., 1 hour for arrival and ceremony, and 4 hour service, cocktail, brunch, celebrating inside the pony barn, not even the big barn, the pony barn. Open bar, blah, blah, blah. Then you can add on other stuff, chairs and shuttle, additional hour for $2,500. If you have over 50 guests, you will be charged $100 per person. I don't know. But at the same time, for $15,000, that is not a bad day at the farm. And that's what I wanted to do. And then if you go to their most expensive package, it's a 3-day package starting at $50,000, $49,000. Prices can range up to, and I'm sorry, starting at $29,000. Before it used to be more, but it range up to $50,000, depends on the date, because I was looking before. And again, 20% gratuity on $30,000. 20% gratuity is $6,000. So, and on $50,000, 20% gratuity is $10,000 for 3 days of just having. And what do you get? Yeah, you get check into the cabins, but you have to buy those separately anyways. You don't really get crazy amount. You get the use of the sailcloth, the rustic chic table chairs, blah, 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 all stuff that we have. So I'm thinking to myself, if I could just do 2 or 3 weddings a year, for Jesus' sake, I'll be good. Give me some of that June Farms money and I don't got to sell this farm. But guess what? It's for 150 guests. It's me, Nelson, Yonelkis, 4 or 5 other people, and then we still got room for like 145 more. Easy. And I don't gotta sell the farm. But boy, oh boy, when we put events together, it was difficult. Parking is difficult. Weather is difficult. Everything's difficult. Everything was difficult. It is not a free or it's not a free $50,000 event, and we certainly had nowhere near 150 people. So it's been difficult. It's been difficult to try to conceive how we're ever going to get to this level. But that was my vision. That's why I am a dreamer. I tell myself, if I can do X, Y, and Z, this farm is going to be worth way more than $1 million. 1.4 to be exact. I don't know if you're going to plan to make an offer. If you're coming and making me an offer for the farm, let it not be less than 1.4. I might call this show the 1.4 million show. Forget Ask Dom that 1.4. As a matter of fact, that's now. If you want to make an offer at the farm, do it now before spring comes. Because I'm taxing people in spring when we're having the events, when everything is flush, when I have food for the animals, my expenses are down. 1.4 is no longer on the table. It's going to have to go up. But that has been my vision and goal, to put enterprises together, to put revenue generating aspects of the farm so that it can be completely self-sustaining as the first goal, and then become very profitable in the second goal. But for me, goes back to the question, what is the point of the farm? If it is a money market or money generating opportunity, then I just skipped the first part and I'm already at the second part. Profitable. So why not just take that? Why? I'm like, oh, okay, do it. Well, before I leave you guys, here's the problem with that. Here's the issue that I have with that. With somebody writing me a $1.4 million check for my farm right now, presumably 1.7 million during springtime. If you come to me in spring, please bring a check for 1.7 million. 1.4 was winter prices. $1.7 million. And let's see if we can pull up a picture of that lake. The lake. I just want to let's see. I don't even know if I have a picture of the lake, guys, but that's the most, it's $1 million view. That's your lake. It's my lake, technically. Here's the problem. If you give me a check right now for $1.7 million and you own Teca Farms, I'll hate you forever, but good for, yeah, I'll have my money. What am I going to do with the money? I'm just going to go out and buy another business. I'm going to go out and buy another farm. I'm going to go out and what am I going to do with the money? Put in the stock market? That's not fun. I can't go visit the stock market and feed it. I can't bring people to the stock market. What is the point in just hoarding money to leave it to some kids that I don't got? Or the point to get some sort of financial freedom, to get some sort of distance between you and all these conspiracy truths. But what's more important than your body, than the food that you consume? Now, granted, I know I can go to farmers market and just buy other stuff, but there is a sense of pride in feeling connected with the land. There is a sense, it's joy. How much is my joy worth? And before I can guarantee you, I can say, you know what, for me, $100,000, I'm good. I will just, I'd rather be joyful than have $100,000. $200,000, I've made $200,000. I want to show you guys how to make $200,000. And if you follow this content, you will. But you see how this is a real estate play, right, guys? If you've been following the channel, and I'm going to go over this in the circle, please guarantee you that I'm going to break this down to you guys in the circle community, free for the first 100 members. Guys, I've been busy, so I haven't jumped in there yesterday. But I am going to break down how I plan to extract the money. Take that 1.4, 1.7. The bank's already willing to give it to me. I have not taken it because not all money is good money, but I have a $1.4 million line of credit available to me that I can take and parlay it into growing the other aspects of the business. So there's a way for me to extract the money and the value of the farm without actually selling it. And that's what I might do. But I don't know that that's the right decision. Should I just sell it? Should I take the money and walk away? And if you guys can help me come up with that answer, it'd be greatly appreciated. And maybe you'll have it between now and the next time you watch the Ask Dom Nat show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern, the fastest 30 minutes of your day, to make you an overall more informed person. My name is Dominique Pereira, but you might know me as Ask Dom Nat. See you at Teca Farms.